Welcome back to the Daily Crisis. Today we are going over the Criminal Syndicate affiliation of Marvel Crisis Protocol. The Syndicate has been around since the early days of the game and has one of the deepest rosters of any faction. At their core, Criminal Syndicate is all about board control. They're not the flashiest or most explosive affiliation in the game, but they excel at fundamentals. Kingpin leads the way by getting your healthy models counting as 2 when securing objectives, what makes it very hard for your opponents to push you off points. Shadowland Daredevil shifts things toward aggression, rewarding you for targeting enemies who are holding extracts. Modok, Scientist Supreme, offers consistency with his leadership by fixing dice results, while Klaw has a very selfish ability that lets him advance whenever his allies are dazed or KO'd. No matter which leadership you choose, the Syndicate plays a methodical, grounded game. They can absorb punishment, dish out attrition, and score steadily. They don't want to win by being fancy, they win by being reliable. That makes them a solid option for newer players while still having enough depth to keep experienced players engaged. And the key to their reliability starts at the very top, with their leaders. The Criminal Syndicate has a variety of leaderships that allow you to play in different ways. Kingpin's leadership is the most iconic, letting your healthy characters count as 2 models when securing objectives. Additionally, once per turn at any time during a character's activation, it may spend 2 power to move 1 asset or civilian token to another allied character within range 3. This turns fights over secures into an uphill battle for your opponent, and combined with his very tanky stat line, it makes him the go-to leader for a control-focused Syndicate roster. Shadowland Daredevil offers something very different. His leadership lets you reroll an attack die against enemies who are holding extracts or contesting objective tokens. This leadership allows you to reroll skulls, which is a huge boost for attrition-focused teams. He also comes with the Hand Ninja Grunts, who add extra efficiency to your roster by running off to grab objectives, while your big hitters focus on fighting. Modok, Scientist Supreme, has a leadership tied to wild results. Once per turn, if an ally holding or contesting rolls a wild, you get to change another die to a hit or block. In practice, it's limited and not as consistent as Kingpin or Daredevil, but Modok himself brings strong ranged attacks and displacement tools that makes him worth considering. And last up we have Klaw. Klaw provides a leadership where he advances whenever an ally is dazed or KO'd. While this is thematic, it's not particularly strong compared to other options. Klaw himself is fun, with strong power generation and a beam attack, but you're usually not picking him for the leadership. Taken together, these 4 leaderships give you flexibility. Kingpin covers secure plays, Shadowland Daredevil rewards attrition, Modok offers consistency tools, and Klaw is a more favorable choice. Across all of them, the unifying theme is board control and wearing down your opponent. But of course, a leader is only as strong as the crew backing them up, so let's take a look at the core characters that makes Criminal Syndicate tick. Criminal Syndicate is one of the deepest and most flexible affiliations in Marvel Crisis Protocol, with 34 affiliated characters at their disposal. That massive roster gives them access to Bruisers, control pieces, sneaky extract runners, and durable role players, which means their core characters shift depending on which leader you're building around. Instead of having a single fixed core, Syndicate thrives by adapting its building blocks to match the leadership style. When you run Kingpin, the focus is firmly on secure play and durability. Kingpin's game plan is all about surviving enemy pressure while sitting on points, and few models embody that better than Ulik. At 5 threat, Ulik brings a rare combination of mobility, toughness, and control. His crushing leap lets him vault onto central secures or reposition quickly, while his innate damage reduction makes him one of the hardest models in the game to shift. On top of that, his builder has a wild push, giving him consistent displacement. Rhino is another standout piece under Kingpin. At 4 threat, he blends durability with surprising mobility, as his builder guarantees a place range 1, allowing him to reposition aggressively while still holding his ground. Rhino additionally has the aggressive superpower, allowing him to move back onto points you may have been displaced off of. Lastly, he also brings the devastating "This is a robbery" tactics card, which can single-handedly swing games by forcing an opponent to drop an extract and throwing them away. With Kingpin's leadership so focused on scoring points, Rhino's durability and disruption make him a premium character. Rounding out this trio is Bullseye. While far less flashy, his role is invaluable as a cheap 2-threat model who can quietly hold a back point while contributing chip damage from range. His I Never Miss superpower makes him one of the most reliable characters in the game for finishing off weakened enemies, and at such a low cost, he slots neatly into most Kingpin rosters as the perfect role player. Moving over to Shadowland Daredevil, the tone of the roster changes completely. Instead of grinding out points on secures, Daredevil turns the Syndicate into an attrition machine, leaning into rerolls and offensive consistency. This shift makes Killmonger a star. At 4 threat, Killmonger's natural damage output is already dangerous, But under the Daredevil leadership, he becomes terrifying. His focus on the kill superpower rewards him for hunting the same target, adding 2 dice to his attack rolls. And when combined with his rerolls, it allows him to punch well above his weight class. He also has access to Usurp the Throne, a team tactic card that not only fuels his damage spikes, but also can swing victory points dramatically in your favor. Alongside Killmonger, Shocker fills a more reliable, durable role. He isn't flashy, but his superpower, if the ground is rocking, makes enemies within 2 roll 1 fewer attack dice. This makes him a sticky, stubborn presence on the table. He's difficult to remove and chips away at the enemy longer than expected, giving Daredevil's squad another backbone. Loki, Prince of Lies, is another natural fit. His mystic attacks target weaker defenses, his long movement gives him excellent reach, and his offensive and defensive trick of counting enemy skulls as successes makes him a surprisingly resilient bruiser. With Daredevil's rerolls backing him up, Loki becomes a consistent and frustrating model for your opponent to deal with, holding the midline while your other pieces go to work. When you pivot to Modok, Scientist Supreme, the style shifts again. Modok favors grindy, durability-focused plays, where his leadership allows characters to sustain and generate consistent value over long times. Abomination is one of his best partners. He combines displacement and durability, making him the true bruiser who excels at moving enemies off of points while refusing to go down easily himself. Taskmaster plays a very different role, but is just as effective. At only 3 threat, he acts as an incredibly efficient tank, absorbing damage while punishing anyone who dares to attack him with his Counter-Strike ability. He ties up resources and makes life difficult for your opponent without over-investing points. For a more thematic choice, the Wrecking Crew are also stronger than Modok. Individually, they aren't the most reliable, but they scale in power the longer they survive. With Modok's leadership providing him with damage consistency, they grow into dangerous threats over time and can overwhelm opponents in the mid-game if not dealt with. Finally, there's Klaw, who has a less popular but still interesting leadership. Klaw's style is a bit more niche, leading it to attrition and benefiting from grunt characters. While his leadership is weaker compared to other Criminal Syndicate leaders, he does have natural partners that fit into his game plan. Sandman pairs especially well, both thematically and mechanically. He brings disruption to the table, excellent durability, and adds another layer of control to the midline. The best part about him, with Klaw, is whenever one of his grunts dazes, Klaw may advance small because of his leadership. When playing Sandman, your grunts are dazing often, so it benefits Klaw many times and really helps your leadership. Silver Sable also slots nicely under Klaw, acting as a natural attrition piece who thrives in extended fights. While you don't often see Klaw as the primary syndicate leader, when you do build around him, these characters make his game plan more viable. The big takeaway here is that the criminals' greatest strength lies in their depth. Few affiliations of the game can match their sheer number of affiliated characters that they bring to the table, and that gives them unmatched flexibility. Criminal Syndicate doesn't lock you into a single style, it gives you the tools to adapt to nearly anything your opponent puts in front of you. And while the characters set the foundation, the real fun tricks come from their team tactic cards. Criminal Syndicate has 6 affiliated team tactic cards, and some of them are very strong. All According to Plan is the standout card from the team. During the power phase, any number of Criminal Syndicate characters can spend a power. If you reach 10 total power, you take the priority token. This card has the potential to be a game-winning card because priority often decides close matches, and you should always almost include this in your rosters. Next up, we have Bounty Hunters. Bounty Hunters is tied to a Taskmaster or Elektra. You can place a bounty token on the highest enemy threat character, and if the marked character is dazed or KO'd by the one who played the Bounty Hunters token, they immediately get another activation. An extra activation is powerful, but it's situation and not as reliable as these other cards. Cruel Tutelage lets a character spend 1 power to roll 3 extra dice on their next attack. If they roll a skull, they gain stagger. This can be strong if you time it well, or you can manage the stagger, but it's a risky play that can backfire often. Cruelty is another very strong option. After dealing damage, an allied character can spend 2 power to make a range 5 dice mystic attack. It's a great finisher that helps secure those last points of damage in very tight games. No Mercy gives an allied character 3 power after dazing an enemy. Free power is always useful, though it's not always an auto-include unless you have a specific game plan for it. Shadow Organization can swing some matchups in long-range games. During the power phase, characters spend 2 power each, and for the rest of the round, enemies have to be within range 2 to attack them. This makes your team much harder to engage at range and can completely shift how your opponent plays. Overall, all according to Plan and Cruelty are the must-have cards you should take, with Shadow Organization also being strong depending on your roster. So now that you know the tools, let's talk about how to actually start building your own Criminal Syndicate crew. If you're looking to start a Criminal Syndicate roster, the best place to begin is with the new Criminal Syndicate Affiliation Pack, which is linked in the affiliate link in the description, which gives you Kingpin, Modok, Bullseye, and the Hood. This pack is strong and it gives you the must-have team tactic cards we talked about earlier. Next, you should get the Abomination and the Wrecking Crew character pack. This is another very good pack who brings you 2 affiliated characters that synergize well with the Criminal Syndicate Affiliation Pack and gives you access to cards like You Will Do As I Say monster that has to be played with Modok and Abomination. From there, the Shadowland Daredevil and Elektra pack adds another leadership and the Hand Ninjas grunts, which opens up new playstyles. Modok, Scientist Supreme, and Klaw are more optional, but they're fun additions if you want to explore the full Syndicate toolkit. Criminal Syndicate is a versatile and reliable affiliation. Kingpin dominates on secures, Shadowland Daredevil powers attrition. Modok offers consistency, and Klaw brings a unique twist. With a massive power pool of characters and some of the strongest tactic cards in the game, Syndicate has the tools to compete at any level of play. So that's my beginner guide to Criminal Syndicate and Marvel Crisis Protocol. Which leader do you prefer running in Syndicate? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more MCP content.